world, my name is David Dorn, and I have an idea. But before I get to the idea, I have a question for you. Do you have an enemy? Do you have people that you consider enemies? And the answer is probably not, because in the 21st century, we just don't conceive of people as being out to get us, the people who want nothing more than our destruction. Now, we have internet trolls, but hey, who doesn't these days? But we probably don't have people that we would consider to be out to get us. But what about people that you don't like? What about the person who cuts you off in traffic and then you want nothing more than for them to get pulled over by a cop and bad things happen to them? Or what about the person who's rooting for the team that is playing yours and they're very zealous in their rooting for that team? Or what about the guy who blares his music until 2 o'clock in the morning as he's throwing a party out in his front yard? I've had that guy. Or what about the person who broke your heart or who is a former spouse and you just kind of wish they would fall into a pit and no one would find them? Be honest with yourself. And then what about the people who half a world away would love to see you dead? We may not classify those people as enemies, but we would certainly classify those people as those that we really don't care much about or much for. See, the problem is that we have a spectrum of people that we love and people that we absolutely hate. And then there are those people that are kind of in between that we just kind of feel ambivalent toward or have somewhat negative emotion toward those people. Now for my idea. In Matthew chapter 5, Jesus says, love your enemy. And for many of us, that falls on deaf ears because once again, we don't think we have enemies. Well, what if enemies are not people that you actively hate, but people you just moderately dislike? What about them? Jesus says, love the person who blares his music until 2 in the morning. Love the person who just cut you off in traffic. Love the person who just broke your heart. And love the person who would like to decapitate you because of what you believe in. Jesus says, love your enemy. When you conceive of an enemy as those people, that statement has very powerful meaning. And when you finally recognize that that perhaps is what Jesus is meaning, you realize it's impossible. It is absolutely impossible to love those people who want nothing more than to make your life miserable or who just do it by accident. But that's when Jesus steps in. You see, I don't think that we can actually love those people apart from Jesus working in our lives and changing who we are at a very fundamental level. To be able to love not just our neighbor, but to love those people who annoy the living daylights out of us. So the real question is Jesus working in you? I know for a fact that Jesus is still working in me because I'm still struggling to love those people who cut me off in traffic and who blare their music till 2 o'clock in the morning, but I do recognize that I've made a lot of strides in the last few years because I recognize that Jesus is actively at work in my life. So that's the idea that's been rumbling around in my head these last few days. What are ideas that have been rumbling around in yours? Please leave them in a comment down below, and if you would, share this video and like it. I would appreciate that. I hope you have a great rest of your day. God bless. So this is the part of the video where I just keep talking because I've got a graphic somewhere on screen that's trying to point you to one of my other videos that I have put up recently that I think are worth watching, and I would appreciate you going to watch those things. So stop watching this video and click on one of the other videos that's somewhere located on this page that has my face on it. Thanks. See you soon.